Hey you guys, thanks for joining me today for this edition of Art at Home. If you remember from last week, I told you to hang on to your Collagraph. The Collagraph is going to be used this week to make a print. So we've used that same project to do a rubbing last week. This week will be a print. And there are a couple other ideas that I'll share with you later on of other things that you could do with that same piece we made originally. So the supplies you'll need for today, you will need some washable markers. It is very important they're washable, so get some washable markers. You're gonna need a sheet about the size, a little bit larger than your Collagraph, of aluminum foil. You will need a dish with a little bit of water and a sponge in it. If you don't have a sponge at home, you can use a wet wipe. You can even wet a paper towel and use that. That'll work well when we get to the printing part of this project. You will also need one piece of white paper. I use sketchbook paper for mine, but it is up to you whatever you want to use for yours. So we're going to start with the Collagraph that we made last week. Calligraphy is a print-making process, so we're going to be making a print. The word calligraphy actually comes from two Greek words that are put together. So kala, which means glue, and graph, which means drawing. So it is a glue drawing that we're going to create. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take your aluminum foil, you're going to lay it across your tiki collage Collagraph, and one hand needs to stay on the drawing at all times so that the aluminum foil doesn't shift, and the other hand is going to be used to gently smooth the aluminum foil all the way around the collage. You'll notice that the aluminum foil has two different sides. One is extremely shiny and the other one has a dull appearance. You want to make sure that the shiny side is face down, so the surface that we're actually working with is the dull side. Tuck any excess aluminum foil behind the cardboard. I hope you guys are having fun so far. The next part is adding the color. Now you need to make sure that you are using washable markers. That is very important because we need to transfer the color that we are applying to the aluminum foil over to a piece of white paper. So you can choose however you want to color your tiki in. I'm kind of giving mine a little symmetrical appearance with how I'm coloring mine, and kind of rotating between warm and cool colors. So color yours in to your liking, and then I'll show you how to transfer the color to make a print. Okay, so that part is done. The next step is getting my white piece of construction paper. Actually, that came from a sketchbook, and I have a bowl with water and a sponge. My sponge is pretty damp, and what I'm doing is I'm just applying a thin layer of water onto the paper. Now, it's thin, but enough water that I can kind of see a little bit of the glossiness of the water, and you want that because that is going to transfer the ink onto the paper. Now for the fun part. The side of the paper that has the water will directly touch the aluminum foil. Make sure that one hand remains firm on that paper at all times. You don't want the paper to shift because it will shift the ink and mess up how it prints. So keeping your hands firm on it, rub it down, and the big reveal. That is your Collagraph print. The best part about making a print is once you've done it, you can create the same thing over and over again. So if you want to wipe it clean and choose new colors, you can do that. If you didn't put enough water on your paper and you kind of figure that out, you can do that the second time around. This was my second print that I made of the tiki, but this one was my first one. While the first one still looks really good, I totally forgot to put marker on the teeth. So I went ahead and made a second one. And when I made the second one, I made sure to marker the teeth. So if you make a mistake, you can always go back and reprint it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson and you have a lot of fun making prints.